Welcome back to another episode of I Quit My Band. How we doing today?
Good.
Great, dude.
Same as 20 minutes ago?
Oh yeah, dude. Well, these are going to come out at very different times.
They are going to come out at different times. So, we're on to our second review today. It's review season. The season of the Chad is upon us.
We're grinding out here.
And your boys have gotten early access to a record that has come out today, I guess.
Yeah.
Like whenever this comes out, it comes out today, but this is being filmed a week prior.
No big deal.
No big deal at all.
We're on the media circuit.
Just saying. Yeah. Or just saying. But we're going to be reviewing an album called Death Hilarious by a band called Pigs.
Yeah.
7 pigs.
7 pigs.
3 guys.
Yeah. 3 guys, 7 pigs.
3 guys, 7 pigs. I think they abbreviate to Pigs X7.
Yes.
So maybe when we're doing this review, we keep it to that.
I'll probably just call them pigs.
Yeah, maybe we'll just say pigs. Yeah.
I think you'll get the drift.
Yeah, you won't get confused with another pigs.
See, on
Can you
this
imagine
one,
being like somebody who's like a pig farmer or something, like in the SEO game? They're like, who the fuck is taking all the SEO? These guys have 7 pigs in their name?
Yeah. I can't rank with how many pigs they have.
Can't rank. Yeah.
Can't even rank.
You just go to a pig X7 gig and it's just dudes in overalls.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah,
yes. We're going to be talking about Pigs X7. We'll keep it to that, or just pigs this whole time, because we don't want to say 7 pigs every time. But they are a kind of a stoner rock band, a sludge band from the UK. This is their, I think, 5th record?
It's been quite a few. Yeah.
3 or 4. JJ, you're the resident fuzz stoner sludge hog on the show.
He's a real pig hog.
You're a pig hog.
Oink, oink, baby.
You're a pig hog.
Yeah.
So maybe give us a background of your experience with pigs.
Yeah. They are, you're correct. They are like kind of a stoner sludgy type thing. They come from the UK. They've really specialized and risen to fame through following the molds of the stoner genre with kind of making their own path in it with like their vocalist, and they're not just playing at like 50 BPM the whole time.
Yeah.
Their songs aren't just all about weed. Like they're not weed themed, even though it's stoner rock, So they don't necessarily you can't point and laugh at them like you can other stoner bands for being like cheese and stupid with their content and things like that. And they've achieved a decent following, and they've gotten like really excellent like production and things like that on their records, which in this genre production matters a lot, because like there's gear dudes out there that love a good fuzz tone, and so with music like this, an immediate disqualifier for a lot of people is it really slow the whole time? And is it all about wizards and bongs and stuff? Yeah. And they don't really do that kind of shit. There are slow parts, and maybe they do talk about weed sometimes, but like it's not like every song is called like, chase the huff.
Yeah.
Or
chase
whatever.
the bong.
Yeah. Yeah. Sniff the nug.
Sniff the nug.
Yeah, dude. Nug sniffer.
Nug sniffer.
Yeah. Purple sticky icky or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know much about pigs. I've listened. You have told me to listen to them a couple times in the past, and I have, and I've always appreciated their approach to stoner rock and stoner metal. Like you said, like they're not like copying Sleep or anything, or having like really long. I think there were some songs you've sent me that have been like kind of long, more drawn out songs, but the way that they do it is a little bit more like their approach is a lot more like sleazy, I guess. Like they're kind of in the same vein as almost like Viagra Boys in a way of like for sludge. I feel like they sound more like Melvins than they do like Electric Wizard, but they can like bend those two worlds a little bit like into their favor, and have a little bit more like, I don't know, like artistic and a different approach to to riffage instead of just like or just like being very bluesy. You know what I mean? Like it's their production style is very raw. It's like it's not clean whatsoever. They don't really have any like nuance to them, you know, or I'm not even really sure the word, but like artistic value. It just feels more like hit you over the head with a hammer type of sludge music.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think?
I've only listened to the songs that you've added to the playlist, and I think there's 2 or 3 singles from this that we've listened to.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I remember liking the one a good bit, not liking the other one as much, and it was like the one that I liked was Detroit, and I thought they were doing something a little more interesting, like a weird syncopated beat that kind of was like the entire song, and it was cool to hear somebody within like the stoner metal genre do something a bit more outside of the box. And listening to the record, yeah, I would say like the production style is raw, but like not bad sounding. Like I like the way that the drums are presented. Like there's a lot of tone to the drums. They don't sound like they're just like completely dead. And like the vocalist has kind of like a sort of like Lemmy.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
Like he has like that big barking sort of pirate growl.
The pirate growl.
It's a pirate thing.
I'm a big fan of the pirate growl.
Major
you know?
Captain Hook vibes going on.
Yeah, just like a fat, evil, like giant.
Not saying that guy is.
No, he's not.
That's
But
what
he
he's
sounds like he could be some sort of like cyclops that weighs like 300 some pounds. You know?
He's on just the mast of a ship with the ship is also a bomb.
Yeah, exactly. He has a mallet with him.
Yeah.
Like
The
a
SS
spiked
Riff.
bat. Yeah, he's on the SS Riff. I mean, especially like what you were saying before about like the whole like bong and weed presentation of a lot of these bands and like mystical, cultish type of things. I don't really get that a lot with them. And what was I gonna say? Like psych rock, like in general, like we've been kind of critical of psych rock for like bands really pulling from each other's, you know,
D&D groups.
Their D&D groups, or just swagger jacking each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Where I don't feel, I've never listened to a Pig song and been like, they're swagger jacking, you know, King Gizzard or something like that.
Yeah, I think there's always going to be like...
They're all swagger jacking Black Sabbath.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. Like, you know, there's carbon in all of our bodies.
Right.
There's going to be a little Black Sabbath
a little bit of it
in every stoner metal band.
Yeah.
But I do find that the ways that they like do it, it's not just like, oh, this was if they made Volume 5.
Right.
Yeah, it's like stoner rock dudes that like also really like punk.
Yeah, I could see that. That's a good way to put it. They released this new album called Death Hilarious. Your boys are #1 on the scene. So what do you say? Should we just dive right in?
Dive in, dude.
Let's check it out. It's Death Hilarious, Pigs X7, and it's I Quit My Band. See what we got here.
Just getting kicked right in the nuts right at the start.
This song's called Blockage, which I like. I like that name. Just sounds like, you know, you're gonna have some heart blockage. You know, like you ate a burger, and after you eat the burger, you're like, this is how you feel.
Yeah,
on the way to the hospital.
Yeah,
after eating at Guy's X5, I have some blockage in my arteries.
That's really fucking
Did that come
good.
off the top of the dome or the
dome,
oh,
bro.
nice. Nice. That was so good. Guys X5.
That's beautiful.
Guys.
That's why you watch the show.
That's
the show.
Shut it off.
We're not gonna top that.
Yeah, this might be my favorite thing on the record. It's like there's other times on the record where they like go full rock and roll, but it doesn't feel this like fun and carefree. And that's not something I'm expecting in like a stoner rock band. Like their idea of fun is not always my idea of fun.
Yeah.
But like you can hear that like more punky element, but they're still doing the like bluesy like bow bow.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this one a lot. It's just like that driving riff is just undeniable. Like it's gonna get you jacked up driving in your car on the way to the hospital after eating it.
Guys X5.
In the ambulance,
In
you're
the
like,
ambulance.
hit blockage.
Yeah, give me blockage.
If I'm dying to blockage.
Right.
Yeah, it stands out to me too because I feel like this one should have been one of the singles.
I mean, I kind of know why it wasn't a single because it kicks off the record and such. Like I feel like you want that intro track to be like to completely like take you by surprise.
That's true. That's true.
And then it goes into like your more classic, sort of like Sabbathy.
Yeah.
Love that.
I just love the way the guitars sound on this record. Like they're so like
chunky.
They're very chunky, and it feels like they didn't do anything to like clean them up post production. They're just like you can hear like the amp whistle in the background and that fuzz just kind of taking. Like it almost feels like this whole record has like that feedback distortion. Like we can hear that like buzz over everything, and it's just subtle. And it makes it sound just very live.
Yeah.
Good.
Go ahead. No, you.
No, you can almost like feel the speaker break up.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, some of these bands can get very sciencey about it. Like Matt Pike from Sleep has a rig rundown where he talks about like
I love that ending.
Tone chasing or like gain staging and shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm sure these guys are very technical with like how they, adjust their shit or whatever, but like this is the next song. Detroit.
Yeah.
I'm sure that like, at a certain point there's only so much like subtlety you can add to a genre that's like not really that subtle. Just like beat us over the head with a riff.
We've talked about this song before.
Menacing.
This was, I think, the first single off the record. This is what I was missing from sludge. Like I was a big fan of sludge and psych rock for so long, and then it kind of fell off to me because it all started sounding the same. But this just feels like just unorganized, like slop. Like
Chaos.
they just, and I like it sounds like just oozing and fucking melting the speakers with how heavy it is. Like that fucking bass tone is just, it's so heavy. Like it sounds like the string is like a slinky
a little
or something.
Korn-esque.
Yeah, a little bit more corn in there.
You go ahead.
No, it's like darker than you hear in a lot of like stoner metals. Like usually if they're gonna do something this dark, it's also like 50 BPM slower than this. What I like about this is like it's keeping this like it almost feels like a drum machine. It's like
kinda.
so consistent, but the drums sound good. They don't sound like a drum machine.
I think they use space really well. This band in general, but on this song is a good example because space is a like tool that I think a lot of heavy bands don't know what to do with. And by space I mean like the guitars, like maybe there's just screeches here, and then the guitars come in with that. With when they're not there, you really appreciate how gnarly they are when they are there. You take them away and then put them back again. That's like such a sick trick that like not enough bands do. I feel like, especially in this genre.
Yeah, it makes the whole song just sound bigger and more, like like you can almost like see the room that they recorded this in. It sounds like it was recorded in a giant cave or something like that.
Yeah, I like that like weird harmonizing that the guitars are doing in this part where like the bass feels like it might be playing the same thing, but like just the way the guitars are accompanying it, it's just like this sour sort of like spacey.
The drums sound great.
That little like flam he's doing.
Yeah. It's just I love how there's zero like finesse in this. It's just
it's
all
caveman.
fucking just caveman.
Yeah,
like,
primal.
Yeah, very primal. Do you want to move on?
Sure.
This is the next song called Collider.
Oh yeah, Collider. This was one of my favorites, but
think-
probably because it's like the most traditionally stoner sounding thing.
Yeah, I think it has the coolest moment on the record.
Yeah.
They kind of intro the song with that fill, and like I forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then when they do it later with the cowbell, you're like, God damn.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I like this one a lot because of how heavy it is, but how like I guess melodic and like major, like the major
That's
chords
true.
that they're hitting here. Like they do it on other songs in the record. Like the one we just heard previously is like very down in the depths, dark, and this almost reminds me of like Toe Cutter Thumb Buster.
Oh,
the
damn.
OC's like like something that's like it's a like this really bouncy like cartoonish almost sounding riff.
That's a good comparison actually, because it is like kind of like a I don't want to say chipper, but it's like a upbeat sounding thing.
Yeah.
In such a dark, evil, like everything's like tuned to like drop whatever,
Yeah.
and like, you know, everything's fuzzed the fuck out, but it still also, by contrast, sounds like positive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was always one of my favorite things about a band like the OCs, and like even when I was making music at the time, like having heavier songs that can like have like more of a chipper or upbeat or happier vibe to them with like just low fucking tunage, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this is a reference for literally just the people in this room, but that melody reminds me of Maroon Balloons.
Oh yeah,
the Tommy Chorba.
Yeah, that is a reference just for us.
Like that's that's the sickest part.
Such
on
a
this whole
fucking
album.
good. Like, can we go back?
Yeah.
I know. Give me that one more time.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm proud to say on the new Mallet album, I deliver what may be my favorite of all time.
You deliver an
I do. It was an
You heard it
impromptu.
here first, folks.
Spoiler alert! It's
check that out.
a impromptu. I was not planned, and and it's so crisp.
Dude, I can't wait.
I can't-
October.
Yeah. October. Check it out. Maybe we should start talking about each other's projects.
No,
on the
I
show.
didn't mean to do that, but just
No,
because
I
we were
know.
talking about the
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing that is cooler to do on stage than go
Than an
and then into a nasty riff.
Yes.
Especially
Yeah.
after a fill like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
Ending the fill with the cowbell
Yeah.
right there is so fucking
So
awesome.
tasteful.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like I hear moments like that, and stoner metal makes more sense in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we just listened to the Deaf Heaven record, and like when I get hit by just this wall of something out of something really delicate, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
But then I hear something like that and be like, dude, if that's your thing, I could understand digging through the whole genre for that fucking drum fill, cowbell,
Oh yeah.
into a fucking sick riff.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's music for alcoholics.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what.
I'll tell you, when he hits that cowbell and goes,
Yeah, that fucking cowbell.
I don't even care. My wife's gone. I care. I miss her.
I do care. Let's move on to the next song.
I can't cook no more. I just go to Guys X5.
It's just been Easy Mac, Guys X5.
This is the another single, glib tongued.
No,
No,
Stitches.
Stitches,
Glib
yeah.
tongued is up next.
This is Stitches. We listened to this on the show, and I feel the kind of same way about it as I did before. Like, even in the context of the record, it makes it a little bit it's maybe one of my least favorite, just because of how simple this is. Like, I feel like it's a bluesy riff, very simple.
Yeah.
And they did it better, the past 3 tracks.
Yeah, and also this is I think if you defined Pig's area of stoner rock, this is them by the book. This is their shit.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
good way to put it.
I think maybe this is more for the CAs, but the best moments on this thing are when they're trying something that is not quite in their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And this one is literally 4-seam fastball up the middle, perfect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't dislike it, but I know what you mean. It's just I've heard this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it made sense as a single because he is doing something melodic, you
Yeah.
know, compared to some of the other stuff. But just that riff is so. I feel like I've played that riff 100
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
chug 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very basic, not even stoner metal, just rock and roll.
Rock and
Yeah.
roll.
And it does the song just doesn't kick enough ass.
Yeah.
The second riff that they go into is a little cooler.
Yeah.
It goes
Where it gets
slower,
slower.
which is cool.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, I kind of agree with you. It's kind of a weak spot to me.
I mean, a lot of bands are trying to lean into that more rock and roll, like bare bones nature of writing, and I usually really appreciate it, and I think they do it very well. But yeah, I just think that they blockage is it's having a simple riff, but just doing it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Do you want to move on?
Sure. Glib tongued is next.
This is glib tongued.
This was the most recent single they put
Yeah.
out.
I fucking love this.
Me too.
It's really cool. I mean, the
sludgy bass.
Yeah, this bass line is just so like unsettling sounding. Like it's like, you know, waking the fucking giant, dude. Like a guy just waking up. In the giant, I mean a divorced man. You know,
he wakes up in a pizza box.
Just like throwing up, like, but not caring about it at all. Just like, yeah, you know, just
the final
the
boss.
Giant has
awoken. My dad has awoken.
Yeah, to look at the pink bills on his table. You're like, God damn, final notice?
Covered in grease. Yeah. Final notice.
Yeah, and I mean, this has one of the most surprising guest spots that I like. You know, what I've known of this band, I would never expect a rapper in general to be on, but to also have LP of Run the Jewels.
Yeah. Seems like more
dope.
of a Killer Mike type of vibe almost.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know why I said that. It's just because he's bigger, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool. Like, it's not exact. Like, I like that they didn't form it exactly to a rapper, too.
No, yeah.
You know, it still feels like this kind of, like, dronier, heavier thing.
Here it comes.
And then they kind of, like, let LP come to them.
It works shockingly well.
It kind of does. Like, it feels like something that it's like, yeah, there's these two worlds, like, have they ever, like, has anyone ever come and done anything like this before?
Stoner rock and rap?
Yeah. I don't think anyone really has tried. I mean, this is the first try, and it somehow makes me want, like, a stoner rock rap album.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, this is what I talked about before. This is an example of, like, a band like this trying something different, and it works really well.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to just chug, 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 chug. You know,
Yeah.
like we're getting. It's still nasty.
Yeah.
And it's a loud, quiet thing.
It's more atmospheric, too.
Yeah.
And, it makes you want to listen to, like, Sleep and, you know, like, Como D or something.
Yeah, at the same time.
Yeah, if you could just, like, remix a Wu-Tang verse over Dope Smoker.
Yeah, exactly.
See what that sounds like.
Just start doing it.
Yeah.
Just start taking, like...
Nobody's doing it.
The stem of, like, a cool rap verse, putting it over Dope Smoker and be like, isn't this awesome?
Yeah, and then you have to slow down the vocals to a BPM where it's just like...
Controls
everything around me.
I do like about
Fuck the haters.
Yeah. I do like about this that when it gets into the fuzzy loud section, like the loud of the loud quiet, there's just something like off about like the progression or like the riff or something. Like it doesn't quite go in the direction that you'd anticipate it goes.
Yeah.
It goes in more of like an atonal / clashing type way.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that about it, you know?
Yeah. It's real. I don't know. I mean, they're just... With this whole song, they're just kind of, you know, showing what a stoner band is actually capable of, which is something that I've been very critical of with the genre in the past. I'm just like, no one's trying to reinvent the wheel, and that's bothering me.
Yeah.
You know? And now it's like, okay, here's someone actually trying to do something different, and it's cool.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Great timing.
That was good timing. This is The Wyrm.
So... This brings in one of my criticisms.
Yeah.
Is that this part in particular is a perfect example. It happens so many times that it like makes me think of vinyl skipping or something because it sounds so the same. There's not even like a noise track or like a yell over it to differentiate it. I don't know how you'd keep count because they're just doing this like cadence over and over again. I don't think you need to do that much.
Yeah, I mean, it goes on for like 2.5 minutes.
Pretty much 2 minutes, yeah.
And they do come back to it, and it's cool a little bit when they come back to it.
Yeah.
But I think you could have gotten a similar idea across without it being like 2.5
It's just not interesting enough for it to be like a central theme or something. It just feels like I'm stuck in like a loop.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's like it's something I feel like I've heard before in the genre that like do
It made me like like number one, I don't like the notes that they're hitting. Like it doesn't. It's not that like it doesn't feel grimy enough like the way the other songs sounded, and then they do it for so long too. So I'm just like, I'm getting hit with this thing that I don't like for a very long time.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, that's just, it's up to taste if you like, what they're actually playing, but it wasn't for me. And then like just listening to this in headphones while I was just like, going about my day, I was just like, what the like after a while you just go like, all right.
Yeah, it's
let's
not
skip
that
forward.
Yeah, and it's like it doesn't drive anxiety either. Like sometimes like when people do this like repetitious thing, it's like to get you like more and more on the edge. It just gets you like mildly annoyed.
Yeah.
You're just like, can you get to the riff that I'm sure you're gonna play after
Yeah,
this?
exactly. And it's like they're not even like increasing in like there's not even like a chord progression they're following. Like if they were just like modulating up over time or something to
or like
build intensity. Yeah.
Wow.
But they're not.
Same time.
Dude.
Intensity.
Intensity X2. Dude.
It's a long song, so like obviously it serves a purpose as like the intro, but you didn't need to do all that shit because I like this.
Yeah, like when it gets into the actual
I had
song.
to sit through 2.5 minutes though.
Yeah. When it gets into the actual song, it's fun,
Yeah.
But I think it kind of like that beginning plays into the fact of like how much of like just how much of a live band Pigs X7 is. Like I feel like they record their records. I'm guessing live just based off the way it sounds.
Yeah.
And like something like that intro is just something that they probably do during their live sets, and it's probably much more fun to see it than
There's
it is
probably
to
like
listen to
lights
it.
and shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
crazy looking
exactly.
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I like they come back to it towards the end, and I think it works a little better because like they move into like a much slower riff that kind of morphs into that.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, that's a cool idea, but like it just didn't have to be as long as it did. And they've got like a vocal effect going on in his vocals here. They sound just a little different than
a little
they
bit more
typically do.
reverby, echoey. Like there's a tiny bit of delay on it. I like this fucked up guitar solo that comes in here. Like it's just so like not played to perfection, and like they just didn't care. Which that's another thing I love about this record and the vibe of this band is just like how they can do cool things without being virtuosos whatsoever.
And I'm sure that they are, but they have enough taste to like be like, no, this to lend it most appropriately to the vibe. You don't need a super polished thing to happen over it. Like none of these guys are like the asshole guitarists with their like foot up on the monitor, like making a cool guy face with shades on.
I mean, it's kind of the appeal of stoner rock in the first place is that like you just have dudes that are just so violently high playing guitars, just like falling asleep, But like this has the same vibe, except like it's just way more upbeat and like, it's more aware of itself. Like it sounds like a fucking. These guitars sound like the way they chug and with the tone. It sounds like a motorcycle motor being fucking like. Explode! It's like exploding or something.
Oh,
X7.
Shit! Yeah,
X7.
Guys,
I remember
X5.
liking this riff, I believe, coming up out of this like slow section.
We're getting very doomy here.
Yeah,
very dim.
here it comes. Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Yeah, and then it comes back to the riff.
Yeah, it's like it's definitely Sabbathy, but heavy as hell.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the Sabbath, like how Sabbath that is, like to go into a riff at the end of the song that's like much more upbeat and dancey, like almost like Hand of Doom type of shit.
Classic formula.
It's the classic
sick riff,
formula. Yeah.
Verse.
Yeah.
Chorus. Sick riff. Spicy section. Chorus. End.
What is that? Now that I'm thinking about that, that sounds like a Sabbath riff, like
Big
from
time.
Paranoid.
Yeah.
Like there's a particular song, like down down da 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 da. Is that? Maybe I'm just making that up.
I think it's that carbon
I think it's
thing,
just
dude.
that thing where I'm like, that is something.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
It's one of the
dude.
periodic elements of stoner.
Of stoner.
Of riffs. Yeah.
Here's Carousel.
This is another long one.
Yeah. Well, it's only 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I like the bass line of this a lot.
Yeah.
Just very ugly, mean sounding.
Okay,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This one's awesome.
Yeah, this is another only for us three reference, but the song Predator by Speed Plans.
Oh yeah.
It kind of has that same riff. So go check out Speed Plans.
Yeah,
Speed Plans rules.
Great
They're
hardcore
awesome.
Pittsburgh band.
Also, all the songs are like 45 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll have no problem.
Their
listening
new
to that.
album is 7.5 minutes long.
Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, I like that riff. I mean, the bass melodies are like, this is some of my favorite like tones, and the way that they like the bass kind of kicks off every song almost like in the same way Glib Tongue does. It just sets that fucking gritty, slimy, ooky gooky tone.
Ookie goopy.
Ooky gooky.
It's on that sticky icky.
That sticky icky.
Yeah, this one, like, after Wyrm, I was like, man, I could really use a pick-me-up.
Yeah.
And this did provide that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like,
thought so.
Wyrm's a long-ass song. Was
Yeah.
Wyrm, like, 7, 8?
Yeah, something like
I
that.
think about 7.5.
Yeah. So getting something just a little more
Yeah.
immediate with, like, a heavier sort of groove than they've been sitting in than some of the other ones.
It's so funny to listen to this record right after listening to Deaf Heaven, where it's just like these drums are just like boom, down, 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 and the Deaf Heaven's like it's like
Yeah.
the complete opposite.
Very different.
Yeah, and it's like everybody's playing the same thing.
Yeah.
And then they just, like, you have one guy over here doing
Yeah, yeah.
this, and...
Isn't
Yeah.
that sick that everyone plays the
The
same,
same
thing?
How many guys are in this band?
I think it's 5.
5. Yeah.
2 guitar players, bass, drums.
5 guys.
5.
Guys X5.
Guys,
Guys
X5.
X5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should I move on to my 4th Diet Coke Zero?
Oh,
today?
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
go
nothing
ahead.
in there that will kill you.
I know. That's what I keep saying. I whipped out
It's totally safe.
I whipped out a CZ in front of my coworkers the other day, and they're like, "I stay away from that shit." And I was like, "Why? It's the best."
I'm sure if it was bad, you would be in some sort of RFK camp already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
that's true.
wean you off.
I really like the Pigs X7
We gotta get rid of this guy.
This guy's
Drinking too many Diet Cokes.
Diet Cokes. What do you guys think about that impression, by the way? Is this good?
You know,
kind
I
of
mean,
weak?
It's fine.
Pandering?
You know, I don't know about pandering. It's just anybody who's doing an RFK impression, it's going to be hard to listen to because
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
is hard to listen
Yeah,
He is
to.
that's
hard to
true.
listen to.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean yours is good, but it's good because it's exaggerated. You
Okay.
know?
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
the best impressions are the ones that go over the top.
You dial it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I'll workshop it.
I listened to my Jeff Bridges in the Japanese breakfast review.
Yeah.
My Jeff Bridges impression. I don't think you guys gave me the credit that I deserve.
I just didn't think it was that good.
I'll tell you what, hearing it
Come
in the
on.
headphones wasn't that bad. It wasn't that good, but I did watch the episode and I was like, all right, that is a pretty good JB.
It's good. I thought it was good.
You have better impressions in your bag.
I do, but I'm trying to workshop. it.
Workshopping
Okay.
JB.
All
I
of
mean-
your impressions involve you saying like 4 words as
Yeah.
that person.
All you really need is for Jeff Bridges just the. Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. It's that
good.
simple.
it's the
And it's that
indiscernible
simple.
quality of Jeff Bridges.
Just the licking the lips of. Yeah, that's it. You have to make that noise with your mouth. And that's it.
Yeah, I'm not much on impressions, but I will know the obscure movie they were in 1994.
For sure.
Obadiah Stane.
Obadiah Stane.
I mean, that's Iron Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
White Squall?
White Squall. I don't know that one.
Yeah, hit me with this really quick.
Yeah, this song.
Yeah, and that like wall of guitars coming back to the riff.
with a little shreddage over top.
I mean, that's classic shit.
Yeah,
It's classic shit.
classic
but
shit.
they're making it so fun. I don't know what about this record is so fun to me. You know, like it just feels like a night out with the fucking boys.
Yeah.
Except you are all divorced and not looking for any sort of like tail.
Yeah.
You're just out.
You're just broing out.
drinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, just a great cover band.
Yeah,
that you
just
think is like you think you're seeing Jimi Hendrix at like fucking the
Us
fucking
at your
Paramount.
bachelor
It's
party.
basically a
Yeah.
bachelor party. Just
It's-
fucking drinking.
Dude.
Just
And that's
drinking
it.
You're
and
hammered,
listening
and
to
the,
covers.
the
Yeah.
version of Stone Temple Pilots' "Creep" that they're hitting you
Yeah.
with is better than the
It's
album.
bad. You're like, this is the best night of my life.
Or you get pissed at the cover band for not playing a song you want to hear.
Yeah, I think I did get pissed at
You
that
got
cover
pissed the
band.
second
I can't
night.
remember.
Yeah, you thought that they were gonna like end their set with something that sucked. It was like a killer song or something.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I
so
was,
then they
right side
came
of
back
something.
with Poison, and you were like,
okay, never
"Bachelor
mind.
party saved."
It's back on, boys.
Nothing but a good time.
Yeah. Anyways,
we're off to the next song, Coyote Call.
Yeah, I like this one a lot too. It's pretty nasty.
I kind of remember not liking this one.
Yeah, I don't love the shuffle.
Yeah.
But
I like the but there is nothing new here.
yeah, it's very like, I mean, in a stoner band, you think at some point you're gonna get the shuff.
Yeah.
They're gonna hit you with
got
that because it's like, you know, before guys started going into like the triplet gent thrash
Yeah.
stuff, this was as close as you would get.
Yeah,
you know, like
that's
the
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest criticism with this one is just that it is just rehashing ideas.
Yeah.
And this one feels a lot like Stitches to me, and a little bit like Blockage, where it's just like they're locked into a riff and they're gonna play that the whole time, like the dun 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 dun. Like they're able to do, like we've heard them like make like really original sounding riffs on this record, but like it seems like when they go faster, when they pick up the pace a little bit more, like it starts pulling from itself and more influences.
Except for that first track, Blockage.
Except for Blockage is kind of different because it is the intro. You know,
Yeah.
like you're
Yeah.
kind of hit with something new, and like I'll give that a pass. But when you like the other faster tracks, just feel like, I don't know, something that has been done a lot of times before.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the one piece of credit though, give him is he's doing the shuffle on double bass, which sounds kind of different.
Yeah.
Like usually, like the shuffle is on like the snare, like you're hitting the doubles.
Yeah.
So it's like to hear like, but it does feel like you've heard a lot of stoner metal bands do a similar riff, like dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Almost
Children
like
of the Grave.
Children of the Grave, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah. Imagine writing Children of the Grave first.
Unreal, dude.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You did it.
You did it. You
And
hit
it's
the lottery.
so good
It's
that
so
Bill
good.
Ward's like, I'm gonna add some more
Tick, tick,
toms
tick,
tick,
over
tick,
it.
tick.
And I'm just like,
Oh.
who gives a fuck?
And then, like, you ruined the song, but somehow it's still good. No one's gonna care. Yeah, it's that good.
No
Maybe
one
the-
gives a
yeah.
shit.
Maybe the most annoying element of a song that I still consider one of my favorites of all
Oh,
time.
yeah. It's great.
so annoying.
Because
Yeah.
you could tell he's thinking double bass. Like
Yeah.
what the song needs is double bass, but
Yeah.
I'm just gonna fucking.
I'm gonna hit like a timbali
Yeah.
or something.
I'm gonna
Like,
get two
don't.
wooden spoons and hit a window.
Yeah. Like, dude,
Yeah.
how much cocaine birthed that idea?
Yeah. And for everyone in the studio to be
I'd be
like,
like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
Can we get those toms
we get-
louder?
yeah, can we get that loud?
Just that shuffling thing I'm doing. My drum kit can stay where it is. Just the dugga-da-dugga-da. That's what I need.
Do you want to move on?
Yeah. Last track.
This one has some sort of ending. We're still on Coyote Call here.
Yeah.
Kind of pause. I forgot about that. Let's move on to the last track. Toecurler.
Toe curler. Toe cutter thumb buster. dude.
Toe cutter thumb buster.
This is like, the classic ending the album with like an epic
Yeah.
meandering.
Yeah, I like this. I like the way it begins a lot, like purely because of that guitar tone. Like it is just so like
Horrific.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like damn. It's not dialed in whatsoever. It's just so messy.
Yeah. It's kind of
Yeah.
got like the sleaze bag feel that we were talking
Oh,
about,
100%.
which I like about this
Yeah.
because like there's so often with these bands like a I don't give a fuck attitude, but it's I don't give a fuck because I'm too stoned and dumb to like
Yeah.
give a fuck. These guys don't give a fuck just because they're like that's our style, that's
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
aesthetic,
Yeah, I mean, I like this, but yeah, like just that down, 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 like that is very
Chromatic
familiar
walk down,
in
yeah.
stoner, in the stoner, history books.
Yeah.
That's
in the
something to
annals
go-
of stoner
in
history.
The annals of
The
stoner.
lineage of stoner.
The lineage.
And the great family tree of
The-
weed.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's a whole tree made
It's
of
a
weed.
tree.
Whoa, what if we smoked?
Yeah, this like I don't love the like overarching genre, and this feels like
Yeah.
an exercise in like the genre.
Yeah.
where it's like the super slow.
This feels so weed, dude.
Yeah, it
I could
really
I can smell the weed on this one.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
the dankest
This
track.
is the
It is the
Um, Yeah, it didn't work that great for me. There's just like you said, the stuff that they were doing earlier worked better or was more interesting. And I also think that like the voice is kind of grating in this song because it's just like he's barking over these super slow sections, and it doesn't feel like there's like a melody or like a melodic idea in some of the other ones. Here it's just like we're playing something real slow, and every measure I'm gonna yell something new.
Yeah, I thought that too. This is the first time, surprisingly, on the record that his voice and his melodies, which is more or less just yelling throughout the whole thing, it starts to feel like distracting. Like, and you just kind of you get hit with like, damn, where's he's still like every song is just the Rah!
Yeah, he has one mode.
He's got one mode.
It's bellow.
It's I mean, it's cool that you don't really get like distracted by it until the last song. But you like this song. I don't know why it wasn't one of my favorite. It's one of my least favorites on the record.
But what I will say about like the vocals and stuff is something you touched on earlier. It's like they're not singing about weed and stuff like that. Like he is like there's like songs about like actual like emotions and things going on in the world, which I give them credit for over just being like a werewolf made of nugs. And shit like
420 Blaze. Yeah, for sure.
Werewolf nug man.
Yeah.
I get bitten by a werewolf and I turn into weed.
I told you.
Dude, what? That's what happens when I get high.
Yeah. That would be a fun song. To smoke weed and turn into a werewolf.
It's called, the song is called The Bite of the Werewolf. In parentheses, it's actually weed.
It's actually weed.
Just in case you didn't get the metaphor.
Dude, you could write a whole concept album about that.
Yeah.
That just 10 tracks leading up to getting bitten by weed.
Dude, it bit me.
And by bitten, I mean just taking a monster fucking hit, dude. I just got bit by a werewolf, dude. They're like, well, you're fired from GameStop.
You got to get the fuck out of here.
Now our bathroom
you're not
smells
a werewolf.
Like a werewolf. And you're not allowed to be here anymore.
Yeah, we're taking your Nintendo Switch privileges away. You can't play that anymore here. Should we move into CAs while this is going?
Yeah.
Sure. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, yeah.
I like this, I think, more than I thought I was going to. I was split on the singles. One of them I thought was like really cool and interesting, and one that I felt was kind of like one note, straightforward. And the album is kind of that. It's split between those two sort of things. But I thought the things that they did that I found interesting to be genuinely interesting in a band that has more going for it than like the trappings of the genre overall.
Yeah.
I don't know what their other stuff sounds like. If it's like more like the stuff I liked on the record or more like the stuff that I could hit or miss. I don't think there's anything bad on the album, and I think that if you're a fan overall of stoner rock, like the songs that I'm not huge on might be your favorites. So like I think that as a piece it works. It's more interesting than I would give it credit for, but I do think it's a little bit of a mixed bag overall. I think I'm gonna go 6-8.
I'll go next. I like this kind of stuff, but I just know of this band that they'll never like make my album of the year purely because like I want a more Ozzy type singer. I want Black Sabbath. No, but I want a more dynamic vocals as opposed to just a dude yelling the whole time, or like because that's where Sleep loses me too, because they're just chanting stuff.
Yeah.
I love the heavy instrumentals and I love like how it moves me, but these guys have made it clear that that's not their avenue in a certain way. What I liked the most about this album was for sure when they took swings and they tried different things, kind of like what you were saying. It's nothing is bad, and I definitely enjoy the stonery shit, which is kind of similar to a lot of the other things that they put out as well. Like one of my favorite songs by them is GNT, and it's just like a chugger, stuff like that. But they try new stuff. Like at the end of this song, there's like this scream, like guttural screaming that they like are filtering through or whatever. I've never heard that. I've heard the singer like, but I've never heard him like. It was cool to hear him ascend to another level. So yeah, it's a mixed bag for me too. I've liked stuff they've made a little bit more, but these guys will never be like my absolute tip-top favorite band, but definitely one that I pay attention to and am interested in. So for that reason, I think I'm just gonna give it an even 7 and call it a day.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking in the same vein as both of you guys. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know if they're like actually trying to do something new on this. Like a lot of it is like basic stoner metal stuff. Like aside from like the LP verse, like it's not like they're reinventing the wheel here, but like I just think that they have a different outlook on like stoner metal. It seems like to me just inherently. Like I like the bass melodies and the melodies of these songs just a little bit like this. Definitely the slower ones like Glib Tongued and Carousel, and there was another one too. Can't remember which one. Detroit, yeah. Detroit. Like I like how they're not afraid to be like just completely like messy and write bass lines that are not like so dark, like a little bit more upbeat. Like I like how they can kind of be more. It's more fun, Like I had more fun listening to this record than I thought I would, because like what I was saying before, like it feels like just a fucking messy night out, and you end it with going to Denny's and
getting a grand slam.
Yeah, maybe putting your phone number on the receipt for like the 55-year-old waitress, just as a joke,
And then the last thing you see right before you walk in the car is her crumpling it up and throwing it in the trash. You're like, whatever.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, like I think like it kind of plays into even the name of the record, Death Hilarious, where it just like it feels like this fun version of like these culty like doom genres that we've been like given in the past. And yeah, like I've been so shitty towards like stoner and psych in the past, but this just I like the tones so much more than on other stoner and sludge bands I've heard recently. It's so like doesn't give a fuck at all. It's sleazy. But yeah, if I had to dog it, it would just be like some of the tracks just didn't stick with me. Some of them are too samey. Some of them are just rehashing some old ideas from other bands or rehashing older ideas that we've like heard like just 2 or 3 songs before on the record. So not every song did it for me, but like 3 to 4 tracks here I really liked a lot and would like recommend. Like I want to like recommend this record to like
Glib Tongued is really fucking cool.
Yeah, I want to like tell someone that is a stoner metal fan, like, oh, if you haven't checked out Pigs, like they're pretty cool.
Check out Detroit.
Yeah. Like Detroit is a really fucking cool song. But yeah, I think I'm just like kind of somewhere in the middle. Like with you guys, I was gonna give it a 7 as well. Shit.
It's like a 6.9.
Hold on. Yeah, it's a 6.
There we go. What is that?
Oh, that's definitely hell yeah. Maybe a pleasantly buzzed hell yeah. You're not quite like Gravity Bong destroyed, but it's like
pleasantly buzzed.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
IQMB gives that a pleasantly buzzed hell yeah.
Pleasantly buzzed hell yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for sending that to us, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't remember the name of the PR firm, but
sick.
Joe. Thank you so much, Joe, for
Thanks,
sending
Joe.
it to us early. That's Pigs times 7 with a pleasantly buzzed hell yeah at a 6.9 for Death Hilarious. Go check out the record and let us know what you thought of it. Let us know in the comments. Tell us if we, just didn't get it.
Yeah. You don't get it.
Like we might not have gotten it. You know. Or if we were right on the money.
Yeah.
And subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. And subscribe to our Patreon page. $5 a month to become a quitter. And like we said, it's Chad season. So get ready for more reviews, more stuff from the IQMB boys. JJ just nailed his head off the microphone
Headbutted the
to
microphone
end this
for
day.
reasons I
Yeah.
don't
Why did I do
understand.
that? I've done 104 episodes of this shit.
For more shit like that.
Dude, that's Patreon.
That's
level. We're
Patreon
cutting
level.
that out.
Yeah. Subscribe to the channel. Get us to 1,000. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
And then we'll quit.
Yeah, and then we'll quit. After we get to 1,000, that's really the end of the show.
Hear that,
yeah.
Sleep Token fans?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just subscribe and we'll be
Just
gone.
subscribe and we're
And
done.
we're done. That's
The
all you have to do.
agitators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody. That's how I quit my band. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.